Hey there, friends. Hope all of you are having an amazing holiday season. Russell here with Live 30A with the rbgroup, and I want to bring you guys an end of the year December market update. It has been a crazy year for real estate. We have seen some crazy interest rate changes. We have seen market dynamics change. We've heard all sorts of doom and gloom spelled throughout the year about the markets crashing and all these things happening. So today we're going to look at the data and we're going to actually decipher what's going on here along 30A. So the first thing I want to address here, guys, is interest rates. Interest rates have climbed so dramatically up from where people have gotten used to them being. Even though historically there are still low rates, we got accustomed to the 2 and 3 and 4% interest rates that we had for years. So we have a lot of people locked in at those rates and a lot of buyers who have been waiting on the sidelines, waiting to see what's going to happen with interest rates. So with that said, let's look at the number of listings. So the number of new listings has steadily declined over the last few months. Not a big surprise there, simply because people who own property right now, they either own it cash, so financing is irrelevant, or they're locked in at one of those historically low rates. So in order for them to sell, they have to consider moving that money and refinancing at a much higher interest rate than they're locked in at now. So what does that mean? Well, that means that when they list, they're not going to list at a discounted price tag unless there is an urgency to sell. So unless there's some sort of circumstance within their lives that has them very motivated to move their property, they're going to keep the property listed to try to get top dollar for it, because yeah, I'd be willing to sell if I have equity gains. However, if I have financing, that means I have to take that money and then purchase something with a diminished value because of the amount that's eaten up through interest rates. So no surprise there, the number of listings has tapered down a little bit over the last few months. The same can be said for sold listings. You know, this time of year historically is always a little bit slower around the holidays for obvious reasons, but also that's another indicator of those people who are locked in at those rates. And then the buyers who are waiting because of interest rates. So those two factors combined is driving that number down. Now, the next thing I want to look at is listing prices. Guys, this has stayed consistent throughout the year. You know, we saw a little bit of a peak there in August, but overall it is very much stabilized. You know, we're on track for pre-COVID appreciation gains. So, you know, 3 to 5% year over year sort of situation, which is back to a normal level of appreciation, not the insane amounts of appreciation that we saw during the unicorn years during COVID. Now, the next thing I want to look at is probably the most important, and that's the absorption rate. As you can clearly see, the amount of inventory we have had has been a clear indicator of buyers holding off because of interest rates going up and up and up and up. So you can see that, and you can see over the last couple of months that's starting to taper down. Now, this metric is sort of like after the fact sort of data. So I would not be surprised if we start seeing this number decline steadily. All the buyers who have been waiting for interest rates to come down are now starting to come out of the woodwork, okay? And that's going to drive down the amount of inventory. Now, the next thing we'll look at is sold to list ratio. We've seen this consistently throughout the year, this between like 95, 97, maybe down to 93, depending on the area. Different areas of 30A have different metrics, but overall, we're still seeing that around 95% negotiation. So basically what that means is if a property is listed for $1 million, you can expect to pay $950,000. Next thing we'll look at is days on market. Days on market is around 115 days, 116, 117 days. This is pretty much on par with what we saw pre-COVID. You know, COVID was insane. You put a property on the market and have multiple offers the same day, and it would sell for over asking. We're just not seeing that anymore. Overall, what I want the takeaway to be from this data, and this is a huge emphasis to buyers. Buyers, if you have been waiting, don't wait too much longer if you're considering purchasing on 30A. And the reason being, the amount of inventory we have will start to diminish. The number of new listings we have is gone down, but the amount of buyers is going up. Well, what is that going to do to prices? Supply is down, demand is up. This is economics 101. It's going to start inflating prices again. So if you are a buyer, I highly recommend considering now. I know it's the holiday season, but now is a great time. There is still a lot less competition now than there will be when the rates continue to drop, because the Fed has announced, Merry Christmas, that they are expecting to drop rates 3 times next year. Now, nobody has a crystal ball, nobody can see what's actually going to happen, but for the Fed to come out and make the announcement themselves, and we have seen week over week interest rate decline, we are now sub 7% interest rates in some cases, you're going to see buyers who've been waiting start to come out. And it's an election year, so take that for what it's worth. But what that's going to do is it's going to drive up prices. More buyers come out, there's going to be more competition, and you're going to start seeing that negotiation narrow. You're going to see seller concessions start to go away, so sellers offering rate buy down credits or credits for repairs or just a credit at close in general. You're going to start to see that go away. I've experienced that in my own listings. The price tag has been far more important to the buyers than any concessions. That being said, there is still a lot of room for buyers who are financing to get creative with that, to take advantage of that. If a seller is offering concessions, you can apply that to a rate buy down and you can get an even lower interest rate locked in. And if the rate continues to decline over the year, over the next 2 years, or the next 5 years, you have to keep in mind that you are buying this property and probably holding on to it for a little while. You can always refinance. It is far better to lock in a property at $1 million, hypothetically, at 6% now, than to let it appreciate for a few more years with all the buyer demand coming up. And now the property comes up to 1.5 million and you're at 4%. You've lost out on that appreciation and you've lost out on that time, and more importantly, the intangible aspect. And this is a huge thing for 30A in general. This is a destination market. This is a want market. Nobody needs to move here. People invest here. One of the biggest advantages of investing here is, yeah, you get to hopefully generate some revenue, offset your cost of ownership, but more importantly, you get to create memories here. You know, if you're traveling down here every year for a vacation anyway, you're spending your hard-earned money, you're spending your time to create those memories. Why not have the benefit of both? You can create those memories, which you can never put a price tag on. So, all that to say, very exciting things happening. If you have any questions about the market, if you'd like to put in an offer on anything or any information about any property or area, Blaine and myself are always here to help. We love serving the community. People that love this area are just a community in and of themselves, and anything we can do to facilitate that relationship and grow the love, grow the awareness for 30A, we always love to do so. So please don't ever hesitate to reach out. I hope you and yours have a blessed holiday season and a happy new year. See you guys next month. Take care.